Today with Poppa, I wanted to chain together all of the obedience that he knows up until this point in preparation for us filming our final video tomorrow. So we're walking along, I'm heeling him without a leash on, there's no extra guidance or pressure. This is purely off of following my leg and cues that he's learned to perceive on his own, as well as specific cues that I'm giving him via talking, right? Like I'm telling him different commands. I told him to sit just then. I ask him for a come. I give him that little bit of body language with my hand, passing my side, and then drumming my other leg where I want him to end up. When I ask him for that down, I might tap my foot, I might point at the ground. There's different things that I'm going to do to help reinforce so that the dog does still have this additional help and guidance, and he's not just being thrown into the deep end without any extra clarity. Right there, I asked him for a sit. He wanted to lay down, so I just asked him to come around me again and finish in that sit at the end of the come to sit. So that's an interesting way to illustrate one of the beautiful things about obedience is it's not as clear cut in terms of, okay, here's the prescribed application of this obedience behavior. There's a lot more that you can do with it if you can be a little bit more creative. So like right now, the dog was wanting to end up in a different position than I would have preferred, so I had him come around multiple times. I told him come, and then come, and then come, because he didn't actually end up where I would have liked. So this is one of the only times that I had to use stimulation in the whole video, and that was to get him to down at a distance there. And when he finally did down, I was able to just tell him break, and there was this huge, massive reward. So even though the stimulation was used to encourage him into that position, into that down, immediately afterward, there was this huge amount of exhilaration right here. He's wanting to stop and scratch at his neck. I gave him a little bit of stimulation and kept walking, and then he just ran up to catch up to me. And you'll see his mood isn't affected, he's still wagging, he's still happy. So we have to remember to use the collar. That is important. There isn't really a shortcut in terms of, we're just going to put it on for 5 minutes this one time and you won't need it anymore. Right there, what you can do when the dog is having a little bit of an emotional moment trying to scratch the collar off their neck, and that's what that is. He's just saying, hey, I don't like this being on, it's a little bit uncomfortable. Just in order to have the collar fit snugly so that it works well, as I've explained in the past, it does need to be on pretty tight. And so sometimes what dogs will do is they'll sit there and they'll get caught up in trying to scratch the sensation away or kind of kick this collar off their neck, and ultimately that's just going to stress them out. We want to encourage them by reminding them to maintain their behavior, that they're going to find their big reward at the end after they've complied with everything, rather than trying to stop and put the brakes on in any way. So when he stops to scratch like that, I'll just go grab him by his flat collar and just gently lift up to make him sit again. Right here, I was asking him to climb onto this bench. It's a little bit far away. He kept wanting to get onto the table itself, but eventually he does just get onto the bench. He settles into a sit, which was very nice, and I asked him to come down off. And then, after he jumps down off this bench here, you'll see here, I work on under. And so this is something I just showed him the other day, and because he already has such a strong vocabulary for obedience and for learning and engaging with me, he's willing to do it pretty much anywhere. And that's the whole point of generalizing these behaviors, of going to different places, of working on these things and chaining them together in a big, fun game, is the dog isn't looking at this as, oh, here's work I have to do. It's, look at this opportunity for fun.